make sure that the person is aware that they're in charge. As you talk with them, make sure that they know that they get to sit back and relax. They can just observe thoughts and ideas as they come, observe them, recognize them, and let them go. It's most effective if the person comes in without any specific intents or must-be's for the session. You'll oftentimes ask the person why it is that they came in and what their goal is for the session. However, it's also important to be very open as the practitioner as well as the recipient to allowing whatever needs to happen. So make sure that the person is aware that they get to just relax. This is their time to absorb the energy without forcing anything and without being preoccupied with a certain desired outcome, but just to relax and let it flow. As you begin the session, not everybody has a massage table, so a person can be on a table, on a massage table, on a floor, on a couch, someplace that's comfortable for them. They can also be sitting up in a chair if that is the most comfortable thing. As you begin the session then, the person lays or sits and tune yourself in to the energy. This is a good time to do an opening dedicatory prayer or meditation of some sort if you choose to, expressing gratitude for the privilege of being in this intimate setting, of working with this energy as a partner, calling upon any guides or ascended masters or beings that you work with to help to facilitate the healing energy during this session. And then you go ahead and begin the session. Each position of these 12 should be held for approximately 3 to 5 minutes. Follow the flow of the energy in your hands. If you feel it cycle up for a little bit and then cycle down, go ahead and move on to the next position. The actual treatment itself should take no more than 60 minutes, typically between about 30 and 60 minutes, because that gets to be a long time for the person sitting or lying there. So typically 30 to 60 minutes is a good time for the treatment session. If the person is unable to turn over onto their stomach or lie on their back, go ahead and modify accordingly and still direct the energy to these 12 positions. Now, as you're channeling the energy, mention that Reiki can be done either on or off the body. It's typically done with a closed palm, gently cupped, and just allow the energy to flow. So while you're doing this, what do you do? What do you think? Where does your mind go? There are various things that you can do with this. One thing is during a session, we open ourselves up to receiving information from those guides and the spirit that we work with as to information that would be for the person's greatest good to receive through you. So remain open to any intuition, any insights that come. Also, while you're holding the hand position, sometimes it helps to use mantras if you are comfortable with using those. And they can be any type of mantra you want. It could just be repeating to yourself that you are a clear channel and a pure channel. You can also visualize the energy flowing. You can visualize energy coming in through your crown chakra down to your heart and coming up your base chakra up to your heart. Mixing there, this white energy and the red energy mixing into a beautiful, healing, loving pink energy that then comes down your arms and flows out your hands into the individual. That could be one visualization that helps you. But find something in accordance with the energy to allow yourself to remain focused on the session. At the completion of the session, gently rouse the person again. Allow them a moment to gather themselves. It's a good idea oftentimes to get their feet on the floor. That helps again with grounding them after the session. Disconnect yourself with intent from the energy that was stirred up during the session so that it's not picked up by you, so that you are disconnected from the energy and the things that were going on around. One idea to do that is to use a technique of dry bathing. And you'll oftentimes do this before you rouse the person, and you just brush away any energy that was released from the individual that may have settled on you. And again, this is just the intent that you are distancing yourself from their issues, from anything that was moved around that belongs to this person. So then you rouse them and you do a little debriefing with them. Discuss any insights that you may have received, any questions or insights that they received that they wish to be brought up can be discussed there at that point as well. And then before the person leaves, make sure that you emphasize the importance of them drinking lots of water for the next 24 to 48 hours. That's something that you should be doing going through the class and the attunement as well, because drinking the water helps to really detox the energy. It helps to brush away and clear the body physically and energetically of things that no longer serve. Have the person also be aware of things that go on around them and things that might be shifting over the next 48 hours or so. Also, as you debrief with this person, make sure that they are aware that they can contact you if needed. Sometimes going through a session will instigate a cleanse, just as going through an attunement does. And this cleanse, sometimes called a healing crisis, can at times become intense for the person. So make sure that they're aware that if it does become too intense, they can get hold of you, and you can then send some supportive energy to them. Now, that is the typical full Reiki session, doing a full body treatment, front, back, everything. If there isn't the time to do all of that, it also is very effective for a person to sit in a chair and place your hands over their shoulders and just channel energy this way for 10 to 15 minutes. Having the hands on the shoulders is a very effective way of getting the energy moving and flowing and circulating through the body. So that can be a very beneficial session as well. During a session, we always follow the 12 standard hand positions, unless you feel strongly guided to do otherwise. And then, of course, go where your intuition is telling you. If a person has pain somewhere, you can definitely feel free to channel directly to that energy, to that spot. I remember the day after my Reiki 1 attunement, I went to a healing circle where Reiki practitioners got together to treat each other. And at one point, a woman was on the table who'd just been in a car accident and had some whiplash issues. So several people gathered around her arm and were channeling the energy to her in that area. I, as a new Reiki practitioner who'd been taught to follow the 12 positions, stayed in my position and observed the others while they were doing that. And while I observed, I noticed there was one position at the lower neck and right as it turns into the shoulder that was bare, that no one was working on. And I kept being drawn to that spot and feeling very strongly that someone needed to cover that spot. However, I had just been taught to follow the 12 positions, so I kept my hands firmly in my standard position. And afterwards, as we were talking with the person, she of course thanked everyone and talked about how good it felt. And then she said, you know, the only thing is this spot right here is where I've had the worst pain. And that was the exact spot that I kept being drawn to. But I didn't feel the freedom or the empowerment to actually move there. Trust your instincts. If you're being guided to move to a different position, follow that. Allow the energy to inform you and work as your partner.